In The Legend of Zelda, boss fights are some of the most memorable moments of the game. Whether it's massive monsters, intense sword duels, or puzzle-based battles that test everything you've learned, Zelda has delivered some of the most iconic boss fights in gaming history. Today, I'm counting down the top 10 best boss fights in Zelda. These are ranked based on epicness, enjoyment, creativity, and overall impact it left on the player. Let's begin. Starting the list is Demon King Ganondorf from Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. This fight stands out because of its scale and structure. Instead of just one battle, you face 3 escalating forms that feel like an ultimate test of everything you've learned in the game so far. First, you fight Ganondorf in a brutal duel where he mirrors your combat abilities. This is Ganon in his human form, but still an impressive fight, changing weapons and fighting style to give you a real test. Secondly, he transforms into the Demon King, raising his health bar practically off the screen and making you genuinely think, I'm in trouble.
I'm in danger!
Finally, Ganon sees no choice but to make the ultimate sacrifice and eat his tear. This battle then explodes into a massive cinematic showdown in the sky, dragon on dragon, with Link attempting to slowly cut down Ganon in his new form. But compared to the higher entries in this list, it leans a little bit more towards spectacle than unique mechanics, which is why it lands at number 10. Next is Vaati from Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. Vaati is one of Zelda's most underrated villains, and his final boss fight perfectly shows why. The battle has multiple transformations, each requiring a different strategy. You need to use the game's unique mechanics like splitting Link into multiple copies to deal damage. That mechanic alone makes the fight incredibly creative, but the real highlight is how this fight feels cinematic for a handheld game. Despite being on the Game Boy Advance, it feels like a full-scale final battle. It's creative, it's fun, and it's one of the best boss fights in the 2D Zelda games. At number 8 we have Goht. I had no idea how to say his name. From The Legend of Zelda and Majora's Mask. This boss is pure adrenaline. Instead of the usual stop and attack Zelda formula, Goht turns the fight into a high-speed chase where you use a Gora Mask to roll after him in the giant arena. It feels almost like a racing game. The fight is exciting, fast-paced, and completely different to most Zelda bosses. That creativity and sense of speed makes it one of the most enjoyable fights in the series. Next up is Argorok, the Sky Dragon from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This boss fight is all about epic scale. You climb a massive city in the Sky Dungeon before finally confronting Argorok high above the clouds. The fight uses the double claw shot, letting you grapple between floating towers while chasing down the dragon in the air. Eventually, you latch onto Argorok itself and strike its weak point on its back. Few boss fights in Zelda feel this cinematic. Basically, a dragon battle in the sky. And that sheer spectacle makes it unforgettable. While not being the most difficult fight, the sheer fact that you get to fight a dragon one-on-one as Link and win is alone deserving of a place on the list. At number 6 we have Twinrova from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. This fight is memorable for the puzzle mechanics. You face the twin witches, Kome and Kotake, who attack with fire and ice magic. Using the mirror shield, you absorb their attacks and reflect them back. This is one of the most practical uses of the mirror shield in all Zeldas, rather than deflecting damage and being a way to redirect light. It's a brilliant mechanic that forces the player to think instead of just swinging their sword. Once you defeat them, they fuse together to be a powerful Twinrova for the final phase. Collecting 3 charges of either fire or ice magic, you can reflect it back and be able to do damage. It's creative, clever, and one of the best puzzle-based bosses in all of Zelda. In at number 5 we have Majora from The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Few bosses in the series feel as strange and as unsettling as Majora. The battle inside the moon is chaotic and surreal. The boss has 3 different forms, each more intense than the last, ending in the terrifying Majora's Wrath. What makes this fight special is the atmosphere. The music, the bizarre animations, and the eerie setting makes it feel unlike anything else in Zelda. It's weird, creepy, and incredibly memorable. Furthermore, if you don't collect all 24 masks during your playthrough to be able to become the fierce deity, this fight is a real test of your skill and management, adding another layer to the entire fight. Number 4 goes to Koloktos from Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. This boss starts as a golden mechanical guardian. Once you damage it enough, it tears off its own arms and pulls out massive swords. And then you can pick up one of those swords and use it yourself. That moment completely changes the fight. It becomes chaotic, cinematic, and extremely satisfying. With the ability now to move around the arena and wield 6 swords, this fight becomes incredibly intense and a battle of nerves, making it all the better for it. Koloktos perfectly combines creative mechanics and epic presentation, making it one of the most fun fights in the series. Taking the number 3 spot is Stallord, another incredible boss from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. The first phase already feels epic as you fight a giant skeletal dragon buried in the desert. Guided by many skeletons, you have to use your timing to push through and break his spine, only using the fidget spinner. But in the second phase is where the fight becomes more legendary. The arena transforms into a giant spiraling racetrack, and you chase Stallord using the spinner while dodging fireballs and launching off the rails. It's fast, cinematic, and completely unique. Few bosses feel like this much of an action set piece, which is why Stallord ranks so high. And number 2 is Demise, the final villain of The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. This battle is pure epicness. You face Demise on a storm-covered battlefield while lightning crashes around you. Unlike many Zelda bosses, this is a straight duel. Demise is powerful, aggressive, and forces you to master the game's sword combat. Then the lightning strikes your sword and you channel the power from the storm to defeat him. It is one of the most dramatic finale battles in all the series. And story-wise, it's incredibly important because Demise's curse explains the eternal cycle between Link, Zelda, and Ganon, forever cementing them in the future of all Zelda games. Before we get to number 1, I have a few honourable mentions. These are ones that I wish I could have put on the list, but I couldn't. The Kleok from Legend of Zelda is one of the earliest multi-head bosses in the series, and it really changed the way boss fights were played. The Helmets King from The Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, classic dungeon boss that perfectly uses the hammer mechanic. The Georg pair from The Legend of Zelda Minish Cap, a surprisingly complex boss for a handheld Zelda game. And Ganon from the Ocarina of Time. This was the first epic 3D fight between Link and Ganon, and it hits on the nostalgia card right in the centre. But as for the good boss fights, it's flawed and it's very basic. Play tennis, shoot an arrow, and hack away. And in the second phase, if you just roll under his legs enough times, you'll win. While the epicness of the fight for the time was amazing, I just don't think I could put it in for pure nostalgia reasons. All of those bosses are fantastic, but they just barely missed the top 10. Taking the number 1 spot is Ganon from The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. This isn't just one fight. This is 4 different phases, each completely different. First you battle Puppet Zelda, then you fight Dark Beast Ganon, followed by a horseback chase on Hyrule Field, and then finally an epic sword duel with Ganondorf. It feels like the ultimate Zelda finale. Each phase builds on the last, escalating the tension until the final duel where it's just you versus Ganondorf. The scale, the variety, and the cinematic storytelling makes it one of the most epic boss battles in the entire franchise. Standing in Hyrule Field, finally 1v1 versus Ganon with just a Master Sword and your skill alone, this scene is just everything Zelda fans wanted, and that's why it takes the number 1 spot. Those were my picks for the best boss fights in Zelda history. Zelda has many amazing bosses, and everyone's list is going to look a little bit different. So let me know in the comments, what's your favourite Zelda boss fight of all time? And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content just like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'll like this one too.